If you're going through tough times, you got to watch this show. We're talking about adversity and how to overcome adversity and how to turn adversity into massive success.
He's built multi-million-dollar companies. His explosive books on health and wealth have sold over 60 million copies. Now, the Kevin Trudeau Show they don't want you to know.
Adversity, when it comes into your life, is a gift. Some people call it a problem. I have a major problem. Think about the things that in your life, on your road to success, you have adversity. Adversity is something that you don't want to happen. If you're in business, your plant burns down. You lose several major clients in 1 week, majorly affecting your cash flow. The bank calls a note. You get turned down on a credit application that you thought for sure you were going to get approved for, and you needed that money to build your business, and it didn't happen. You get turned down for the mortgage. You get fired from a job. Your partner leaves you, that you get a surprise filing for divorce. There's a major health crisis. All of a sudden, somebody in your family gets diagnosed with cancer. We call these things adversity. These are bad things that happen to us. These are negative things that happen to us. These are things that are stopping us or slowing us down on our road to success. We get these curveballs. We don't want them. They make us feel terrible. They make us feel anxious and stressed out and overwhelmed. We don't know what to do. We get nervous, right? This is probably you. Well, let me tell you a couple facts that's interesting. There's not a person in the world who doesn't have problems in their life, or challenges, or obstacles that they have to overcome, or adversity, or disasters, or catastrophes. Everyone has problems. Everyone has a whole list of things that they could say. These are adversity situations that I'm facing with. So, number one, don't think that you're special or unique. Earl Nightingale, one of the founders of positive mental attitude training back in the 60s, said, successful people are not people without problems. They're simply people who've learned how to overcome their problems. Everyone has problems. Everyone has negative situations. Don't think that you are unique. Most people aren't talking about them, and you may not know what the challenges that they're facing and the obstacles that they have to overcome, or the adversity that they're facing in their family, in their business, in their relationships, in their health, in their own emotions. Everyone has these things. But they are gifts to you. When you get adversity in your life, when you have something that happens that you don't want to happen, do you look at it as a problem, and do you focus on the problem, or are you looking at it as a gift? There's a great quote, and it says, "It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit actually belongs to the man who is in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, makes mistakes, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and who spends himself on a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat." If you want to become successful, you're going to have to understand that you will stumble, you will get knocked down, you will deal with adversity, you will get your face marred and scarred, and things will not go the way you want. There will be pushback, there will be conflict. That's life. You are playing the game of life. And when you go play a game, it's a competition where there is pushback. In life, when you're trying to succeed or grow in any area, whether it's spiritual development or making more money or improving a relationship or improving your health, there is going to be pain. The Buddha said, pain in life is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Successful people have a mindset. So their mindset is not focusing on the problem. Their mindset is when they are faced with a problem, number one, they know they will be. It's not a surprise. John D. Rockefeller said when he faced adversity, he looked at it as a gift. The great Napoleon Hill said, in every adversity are the seeds of a greater benefit. Successful people know when they're faced with adversity, they're giving an opportunity to open up the present and find the seed of a greater benefit, because there's always greatness in adversity. There's another great quote by the great Robert Schuller, also the founders of positive mental attitude training. It's called the Possibility Thinker's Creed. And it says, when faced with a mountain, I will not quit. I will keep on striving until I climb over, find a pass through, tunnel underneath, or simply stay and turn the mountain into a gold mine with God's helping hand. When faced with a mountain, do you quit? Or do you say, now it's time to fight? I'm going to climb over, I'm going to drill through, I'm going to go around, or I'll just stay and turn this mountain, this adversity, into a gold mine. That is a mindset. It's the millionaire mindset. It's the winner mindset. When faced with adversity, winners don't quit. Think about it. You've heard the phrase, Napoleon Hill. Winners never quit. And quitters never win. It's a mindset. When faced with adversity, do you get scared? Do you get anxious, stressed? Or do you actually get excited? This is number one, step number one. When faced with adversity, do your juices get flowing? Do you get fired up? Do you get motivated and inspired? Or do you cave in? Do you cower? I'm dealing with a problem. How am I going to deal with this? Oh, no. That's loser mentality. Winners get fired up. Winners like a fight. This is a choice. But there is something that keys in that makes you cower. In your past, you've had experiences and you've made postulates or decisions. You have contracted energy. They're called samskaras or engrams or energetic imprints that are in your memory. And when you face adversity, sometimes these things key in and activate, and they give you an irrational and uncontrollable emotion. You need to get over that using some of the techniques like thought field therapy and some of the other techniques that I've taught about how to clear out, blow out, and transmute, get rid of those samskaras, those energetic imprints, that contracted energy that is keying in and activating and giving you uncontrollable and irrational emotions when it deals with adversity. You can train your mind to get excited. You can train your brain to get excited. Winners, when faced with adversity, their brain lights up like a Christmas tree. They get fired up. Hormones get released because they have a protective switch that went on. They're not trying to protect themselves. They're trying to attack. They're not in self-defense mode. They are in attack mode. Adversity with winners triggers an attack mode, and this is critical. John D. Rockefeller said many things about adversity. One of the things he said is only by being able to endure what people cannot bear can you do what other people cannot do. Think about that. Adversity is a gift. In every adversity are the seeds of a greater benefit. A great multimillionaire, billionaire in today's dollars, said, everything I know at the top, I learned at the bottom. When you go through adversity, are you looking at this as a gift, as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to find something that you haven't thought of before? This happens and can happen to you. I learned this back in the late 60s because I was told that in life, every single successful person, and you can just list them all. If you go through the Forbes 400 and pick the 400 richest people in the world and say, what adversity have they faced in their life? It is overwhelming. On the History Channel, they have different things like the machines that made America, the men that made America, the food that made America. There's all these different historical stories of successful people. And when you watch these historical stories, it might amaze you that all the things that we are very familiar with today, some of you are familiar with Mrs. Fields cookies, Famous Amos cookies, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken with Colonel Sanders. You might be familiar with Kraft food, Kraft American cheese, Kraft macaroni and cheese. Kraft is a huge brand. How about Nabisco, all the Oreo cookies and things like that? How about Ben & Jerry's ice cream? You start looking at all the different foods and start looking at all the different brands. The Hilton hotel chain. You look at the Hyatt hotel chain, the Marriott hotel chain, because they were started by Mr. Marriott. Hilton was Conrad Hilton. Hyatt was Pritzker. You look at all of these people. You start looking at anybody who is successful today, and you look at their life. You look at a biography of their life. Andrew Carnegie back in the day, Henry Ford back in the day, all the great automakers, Walter Chrysler, the Dodge brothers, et cetera, et cetera. You go through everyone. How about Thomas Edison, inventor of the light bulb? How about Tesla? How about anyone? J.P. Morgan. You name the person, and not just in America, but all over the world. And you look at what adversity they faced. Almost every one of them not only faced adversity, they faced catastrophes and absolute disasters. Horrible things happened. Plants burned down where they had no insurance. They ran out of money. Banks called loans. Food went bad. Contracts were canceled. They were so many times on the brink of complete collapse, financial ruin, and bankruptcy. So many horrible things happen. Henry Ford is making cars and he gets sued that he can't make a car anymore. He has to fight this in court, and if he loses, he's out of business, and he wins. How does he face that adversity? How being this close to disaster? You look at people in the military during battles. People are this close to disaster. How do they overcome these things? What is their mindset? The adversity you're facing is nothing compared to the multi-millionaires and the ultra-successful people out there. This is critical to understand. In every adversity are the seeds of a greater benefit. You have to have adversity to grow. Unless you have adversity, you don't have pain. And unless you have pain, unless there is something in your life that you absolutely can't take anymore, that you can't deal with anymore, that you absolutely must change, when it has to be a must, a have to, a need, that is the driver that will make you succeed. That is what will drive you to finding something that you never thought of before, that is off your radar screen, and give you ultimate success in life, massive success in life. If you go through just my particular history, there are many, 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 many catastrophes, disasters, horrible situations, massive adversity. And in each one, a blessing came out from that adversity. One, I was in the memory training business. I was teaching seminars. I had a business partner. We had a disagreement over someone I was dating. He was absolutely against the person I was dating. And he says, unless you drop her, we're not going to be partners anymore. I'm either buying you out or you're buying me out. We're through as partners. You can't date that girl anymore. And I thought, I don't know if this is the girl I want to spend the rest of my life with, but I don't particularly like being told who I can date and who I can't date. So I thought about it and I said, okay, I guess it's time to move on. So he bought me out. And now I was without a business and the buyout was next to nothing. I had very little. And I'm sitting there thinking, what am I going to do? A major adversity, a major problem. And part of that buyout was I could not teach live memory training anymore. That was part of the deal. And I just wanted to get out. So I accepted clearly what was a bad deal. And I knew it was an onerous deal and a bad deal, but I just wanted to end that relationship. And it was a catastrophe. It was a disaster. I had no income. I had nothing. Everything was invested in that business and he took it over. And I couldn't even continue in the business that I was known for. I didn't know what to do. Adversity. But I knew in this adversity were the seeds of a greater benefit. And from that pain, from that adversity, from that fear, from that feeling of anxiety and stress, worry about what could happen, I said, I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to be bigger than ever before. And I don't know how, but I know that's going to happen. That's the idea of a winner. I was faced with a mountain, but I wasn't going to quit. I was going to figure out a way with God's help, allowing the universe to open up doors of opportunity. Within a few months, I then met somebody who put me on TV. And rather than teach live memory training, I did have the option of selling memory training via a home study course or a book. That wasn't even a consideration because we didn't think that we could even do that. And within just a few short months, I was bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars a week in royalties. Out of that adversity came a greater benefit. I would have never been on TV infomercials selling mega memory. We did $450 million worth of mega memories. I would have never done that, ever. Never even thought about it if I didn't have the disaster, if I didn't have the adversity. In every adversity are the seeds of a greater benefit. Unless you have adversity in your life, you are never going to grow. You're not going to grow personally. You're not going to develop mental toughness. You're not going to expand your income. You're not going to expand your personal power. You need adversity. Again, John D. Rockefeller said, every time I have adversity, I pop champagne. I know it's a gift from God. He was a Baptist. He said, I know it was a gift from God. And I know in this adversity, there was something that was for my ultimate benefit. Maybe it was a lesson I have to learn, maybe some mental toughness, maybe something I have to take responsibility for, maybe there's something I have to ask forgiveness for, maybe there's an action that I have to stop doing because it produced this. There was something in this adversity. John D. Rockefeller said, the richest man of all time, said that I know that I need for my ultimate benefit. So you need adversity if you want to be successful. Now, there is an ultimate hack, if you will. How do you overcome adversity? How do you develop that technique, or what is the technique that you can use to find the gold? Well, one of the things is persistence and perseverance. John D. Rockefeller said, I do not think there is any other quality so essential to success of any kind as the quality of perseverance or persistence. It overcomes almost everything, even nature. Now think about that. That's a pretty darn powerful statement. When you're faced with adversity, do you quit or do you persevere? Are you consistent and persistent? Do you persevere? Continue. never stopping, never stopping, never stopping, never stopping. You see, success is a decision away. You make a decision, I'm going to do it, that's it, period, and the whole universe comes to your aid when you're consistent and persistent. There's another interesting quote. It says, adversity causes some men to break, but others to break records. Think about it. Who are you? Are you going to let adversity break you, or are you going to use adversity? Henry Ford said, obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eye off your goal. And this is Henry Ford. He dealt with a lot of obstacles. So there is a hack. And the hack is, where do you look when you're dealing with adversity? Are you looking at the problem? Or are you keeping your eye on the dream? Are you keeping your eye on what you want? Are you keeping your eye on your goal? Or are you focusing on the problem? Think about that. The hack, the simple technique to overcome adversity, is keeping your eye on the goal, not on the problem. When you keep your eye on the dream, then you'll overcome the problem. The universe will come to your aid because you become what you think about most of the time. Earl Nightingale said that. You become what you think about most of the time. You get what you think about most of the time. If you're thinking about the problem, you're giving it more energy. If you resist the problem, if you push back against the problem, if you don't welcome the problem, you'll get more of it because what you resist, persists. What you resist gets more energy and it will persist. You have to welcome the challenge and overcome it. This is the hack. Keep your eye on the dream and don't resist the problem. There's this serenity prayer that many people have heard about, but we don't keep it as a mantra. And it should be in your house, and it should be a mantra that you repeat over and over again. It says, God, grant me the patience to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. This is the magic. You're faced with a mountain. Is it something you can change or can't change? If you can't change it, then don't resist it. Have the patience to accept it. If you can change it, then the courage to change it. And you have to have the wisdom to know the difference. Albert Einstein said, it's not that I'm so smart. It's just that I stay with problems longer, working towards solutions. This is keeping your eye on the dream, not being afraid of the challenge, not being afraid of the current situation, but embracing it. In my business career, when I went on TV infomercials, I went out and sold some products on television that people loved, like Mega Memory, which helped people improve their memory, Mega Math, which helped them do math calculations in their head, Mega Speed Reading, which helped them read faster. I did that with Howard Berg, the world's fastest reader. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records. And I did a relationship program with Ellen Kreidman on how to have better relationships. And we did a whole bunch of products. And one product we sold was Coral Calcium, which was a good form of calcium. And we had some experts on the show that talked about that most people are deficient in calcium, and it's a very important mineral for health. And we know that because many products like milk and things says that calcium fortified, because everybody knows that people are deficient, and so they add calcium to a lot of food products so you can get the calcium. So we sold Coral Calcium, and I got sued by the Federal Trade Commission. It was adversity. It was not a good situation. They wanted to wipe me out financially, shut me down, and prosecute me for doing nothing wrong. We know why they did it, because I was saying things about health that they didn't want you to know about. We know that now. And we knew it then too, but now it's obvious. And in that lawsuit, which was a major, major problem, because they said you have to stop running all your infomercials. We had this huge overhead, hundreds of employees. How are we going to pay them? We have no money coming in. We had to let people off. How are we going to survive? We have rents we have to pay and all this fixed overhead that we still have to pay, regardless of the fact we don't have any money coming in. So we made a settlement. And the settlement was to end the case without any finding of wrongdoing, which was a good thing. The problem was I was banned from doing TV infomercials. So I was out of business. And as I made that settlement, just to end the case, I thought, what am I going to do now? This is a major problem. But I knew it's not a problem. It's an opportunity. Because in every adversity are the seeds of a greater benefit. So I looked at that. I sat down with my people and I looked at the settlement. And one of the things that I wrote in the settlement was that even though I was banned from TV infomercials, I was not banned from doing TV infomercials for informational publications that are First Amendment protected, like books. That kind of got by the Federal Trade Commission when they signed the deal. And as I was looking at that, I said, so I can still do TV infomercials, but I can't do it for Coral Calcium or any product, but I can do it for a book. And my team got together and they said, but Kevin, you can't sell books on TV infomercials. No one's done that. There's not enough margin in it. It's not a high enough price product. There's not enough margin. It's impossible to be profitable trying to sell a book on TV infomercials. No one's done that before. And I said, well, you know, people need to know about how the government and the drug companies are trying to hide information, health information, from the public. That's the reason why they sued me over Coral Calcium. I was exposing truths about health, and they sued me. They don't want people to know the truth about health. So I said I should write a book called What the Government and the Drug Companies Don't Want You to Know About Health. Now, that's kind of a long title. And I said, you know, there are natural ways to cure and prevent disease. So I said, well, we'll call the book, I'll write a book called The Natural Ways to Cure and Prevent Disease That the Government and the Drug Companies Don't Want You to Know About. And I thought, that's kind of a long title, too. So after a few iterations, I came up with Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. And I got fired up because out of that adversity, I found the gold. I looked for and found the gold. I looked for the prize. I looked for the seed of a greater benefit and opportunity. And I said, this is completely off the radar screen. We never thought about writing a book. I never thought about writing a book on health. It wasn't even a thought. It wasn't even on the A, B, or C priority list. It wasn't even an idea. It came about because of the adversity that I was dealing with, because I used the hack to find the gold in the adversity. So I wrote the book, Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. And I put together an infomercial and put it on TV, not knowing if it was going to work. And it was a home run. That book was the #1 best-selling book in all of America the year it came out. It was #1 on the New York Times best-selling list 26 weeks in a row. And I became one of the most prolific authors in American history. The book sold almost 50 million copies in hardcover. It's the best-selling health book of all time. And it put me in a different stratosphere of credibility and business success. That came only about. It would never have existed unless I had that major adversity, that lawsuit that effectively shut me down. In every adversity are the seeds of a greater benefit. You have to find the gold that's there. It's a present from the universe. A few years later, I got sued again by the government. And this time they gave a big, huge judgment, $37 million that I had to pay. So I sat down with my legal team and I said, we don't have $37 million. They're going to appoint a receiver. Like in a bankruptcy, they're going to basically take everything. They're going to take the houses, take the forks and knives, take my toothbrush. They're going to take 100% of everything. They're going to liquidate everything, which means I'm going to have nothing left, and I'm still going to probably owe some money. They're going to take away everything and shut everything down, fire everybody, close it down. This looks like the end. Major adversity. But in every adversity are the seeds of a greater benefit. And I sat there and I thought, why don't I start a foundation? Because if I start a brand new foundation, I'm not the owner. That foundation can't be taken over by the government. They can't take any assets that foundation generates. I'm not going to transfer anything into that foundation. We'll start it fresh, brand new. And just whatever it generates, it's its own separate entity. So it shouldn't be touched by the government at all. And I said, this is an opportunity for me to do something that has been my mission since day one, that I've talked to with high members in various organizations around the world that all wanted to do this, put together a private club and organization so that the average person could join and learn the secrets of success and the secrets of the secret societies and the secrets of the privileged elite. And I came up with, okay, let's do it. We formed the Global Information Network. That would never have existed. That club, the greatest success club anywhere in the world, that is transforming lives. The members are just being transformed in so many ways on the law of attraction, manifesting, making money, health, attitude, emotions, spirituality, friendships, relationships, fun, adventure, excitement. It's transforming lives. I was just having dinner with some people last night. We had 47 people at a dinner that were going through some of the processes, and most of them are members in the club. And I said, what's the value of the membership? And they said, it's invaluable. Did it help you? Invaluable. If that club wasn't around, would you be the same person you are today? Absolutely not. That club and the training and what you put together, Kevin, is the catalyst for my successful marriage, happy children, happy health. I'm so much healthier because of everything I learned being in the club. I'm manifesting my goals, dreams, and desires. I develop friendships with amazing, positive, inspired people from around the world. It is the most fulfilling experience of my life. I feel more fulfilled and happy and joyful because of that club. That club wouldn't exist if it wasn't for adversity. And then a few years later, I got charged with contempt of court. I wasn't charged with a crime, contempt of court. And contempt of court is something that's not a crime. It's called, I believe, seriguriitis, which is the Latin word, and I could be mispronouncing it, but it means a thing of its own. It's unique. It's not a misdemeanor. It's not a felony. It's not even a crime. And I got charged with contempt of court because I continued to speak and exercise my First Amendment rights. And I was given the longest sentence in the history of the United States of America for contempt of court, 10 years in federal prison. And I was sitting there shocked. 10 years. But I said, adversity. It's a gift. Maybe I don't know why it's a gift, but I know it's a gift. You see, in Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, he was put in a Nazi concentration camp. He said, they can take everything away from me except my mind. I control my mind. They can control every aspect of my life, but the one thing they can't control, that I have total control of, are my thoughts. And the mind is more powerful than anything else. And as I was thinking about 10 years of my life will be in a federal prison, this is a gift. I don't know why it's a gift or how it's a gift, but I know it's a gift. And I went to prison. And while in prison, I had the opportunity to relax, no phone calls, no emails. I had time to meditate, do yoga, walk, play tennis, exercise, play bridge, learn German, learn Italian. and I had time. And in this period, I thought, I have the time and the ability to concentrate and focus, to put down all of the training that I got in the Brotherhood on success and manifesting and how to release spiritual powers, how to control the mind, how to use the mind, how to contract energy, how to remote view, all the things that I was taught. I have time to put everything that I learned on paper. And over the next few years, every day I would type and I would write lessons. And I put down everything that I learned. I channeled into the universe this information from the ether and also my own memory. And I wrote down and produced the Science of Personal Mastery course. That course would not exist today. And it's the finest, most systematic course that teaches everything that I learned on how to release abilities. So you can see energy, you can move energy, you can see in someone's bank, you can manipulate energy, you can control energy, you can control your mind, you can manifest goals, dreams, and desires, you can go into the lineage and your ancestors and clear out blockages. All these things that I learned how to do, I put into this course, the Science of Personal Mastery course. It would not exist today if I wasn't in prison. So out of that adversity was this amazing opportunity and gift. And then I channeled. I would go above the physical plane into the various dimensions, and I would pass the veil, and I would channel information that people needed. And I wrote the Guru Kev lessons, 100% channeled material on a whole host of subjects that people need in short, easy to digest bites. That would not exist if I wasn't in prison. Adversity is a gift. Can you control your mind? I remember we were in MCC in Chicago, which is the Metropolitan Correctional Center. And, we're in orange jumpsuits. We have cells. They slam the door at night, and you're in a cell until 6 o'clock in the morning. They open it up, and you can get your breakfast, and you're in a pod. It's just one small little floor, and all the cells open, and the people come out, and there's picnic tables there and some TVs. And you play cards. You play chess. You do puzzles. They have a couple computers over there. You can email someone, but you only have 8 or 9 minutes on per time. They have a couple phones. You can make a phone call, but you only have a few hundred minutes a month that you can actually make phone calls. And then an hour a day, you can actually leave the pod and go to the recreational area to get a little exercise for an hour. It's not a very exciting day. And in that pod were guys who were murderers. They were drug smugglers, major drug kingpins, violent gang members. There were guys who were involved in human trafficking, people that were facing 20 years in prison, 30 years in prison, life sentences in prison, triple life sentences. And these are the guys I'm playing cards with. And I'm there for contempt of court, which is not a crime. And all these gangbangers are there and violent people. And I'm there playing bridge or gin rummy or making a puzzle with these 3 violent gang members. And I would talk, what was your life like? Well, we had a whole bunch of AK-47s and I shot so many people. I don't know how many people I killed, but I didn't get caught for that. I'm here for drugs. So here's a guy who's killed many, many people with his AK-47, never got caught, and he's here on some drug bust, but he's still facing 10 or 15 years. So he's a violent guy. And we get transferred. I get transferred, and everybody gets transferred. When you get assigned to the prison you're going to do your time in, you have to get transferred. And you go down to the transfer portal. They take off all your clothes. They completely strip search you. They do all the body cavity searches. It's not very pleasant. You then get put paper, made of paper, slippers. They're made of paper. You get paper pants made of paper and a paper t-shirt made of paper. And you're handcuffed and you're shackled, your feet are shackled, and then there's a chain that goes from your hands to your feet so you can't escape. We get then pushed out of the MCC area onto a bus. The bus goes to O'Hare Airport. It goes on the tarmac and it pulls right up to a big plane. Surrounding the plane are about 12 U.S. federal marshals with shotguns. It's freezing. It's like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which is below freezing. Everybody has gloves on, scarves, parkers, hoods, or ski caps. They take us off the bus. We have paper little booties on, paper pants, paper t-shirt, and this is a short sleeve paper t-shirt. And they take us off the bus and they have us stand on the tarmac, but not get on the plane. It's 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and they're laughing at us. They just want to torture us. And all the guys are shivering, and they're like, some of these guys are almost crying. It's so cold. But luckily, I knew the breath of fire, which is a technique to breathe to increase the heat in the body. There are shows and videos and photographs of Tibetan monks who are in a loincloth, completely naked, in the Tibetan mountains, the Himalayan mountains. They are sitting on the snow, 2 or 3 or 4 of them, meditating, doing the breath of fire. It's ice and snow they're sitting on. It's well below freezing. And within 15 or 20 minutes, they generate so much heat that the snow and the ice melts all around them, and they're completely fine. Wim Hof is very famous. He's known as the Iceman, of how to build up heat in the body so he can go out in the cold with nothing on and not have it affect him at all. And he can jump in freezing cold water where anybody would get hypothermia and die and be there for half an hour and not have any problem whatsoever. I knew this technique. And I'm standing there doing the technique by myself, and the guards are walking by looking at me in amazement. In amazement. And one of them says, "How are you doing that?" And I says, "You can train your mind to do anything." And he said, "Man, that's impressive." Maybe that person was touched. Maybe that person was changed. Maybe that was something that happened he needed to happen. But how did I deal with the adversity? I used my mind. I didn't let the adversity control me. I took charge of the adversity. Now, how do you turn adversity into success? What's the mindset you have to have? Well, let's look at Michael Jordan. Let's look at some successful people. Michael Jordan said, "Obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or walk around it." Does that sound very similar to the Possibility Thinkers Creed? Of course it does. He knew the Possibility Thinkers Creed. He's putting in his own words. Robert F. Kennedy said, "Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly." This is the mindset. The mindset that will turn adversity into success is you welcome adversity and use adversity as motivation. This is the mindset. When I went to prison, I used this mindset. There were men around me that would cry at night. They would cry. These are big, grown, muscular, strong guys, and they would sob that they were in prison, that their life has been ruined, their reputations have been ruined. There was bankers there There was a federal judge there. There were accountants there. There were gangbangers there. There were drug dealers there. There was a lot of bad people there that did very, very bad things. And there were some people that just made some mistakes. They didn't think they were committing crimes, but there was some technical violation. There was one guy there who moved to Thailand, married a Thai gal, lived in Thailand, and opened up a bank account in Thailand. But he's an American citizen. And he would pay all of his taxes. He would show that he had this bank account, and he filed his tax returns because you still had to pay taxes in the U.S., even though you're not living in the U.S. if you're a U.S. citizen. The law changed, and there was a new form that he had to fill out saying how much money he had in this bank account and the name of the bank account. Well, he didn't know about this, filed his tax return. He found out about this form, and he filled it out and sent it in. He sent it in 5 days late. 5 days late. They charged him with a felony, and he got 1 year in prison. He didn't owe them any money. He didn't owe the IRS any money. He just didn't fill out the form on time. He was devastated. He was overwhelmed. I couldn't explain to these people that you have to embrace what you can't change. And the fact is, you are here in prison. You cannot change the fact that you are in prison. This is adversity. It cannot be changed. So you have to have the patience to accept what you can't change and embrace it. Find the gold. So when I was in prison, I said, I am going to make a choice. I control my thoughts. I control my mind. And the choice I'm going to make is that I am going to love every single day I'm here in prison. I'm going to look at this as a blessing, as a gift, and as an opportunity, because I can't change it. I can either be here and be miserable every day like everybody around me, or I can be here and be happy. Either way, I'm still here. And I'd rather be happy than being miserable. It's a choice. So I made that choice, and I said, I'm going to embrace this opportunity, and I'm going to take this time and get the most out of it. I'm going to rest. I'm going to do yoga. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to learn and play bridge. I'm going to play tennis, shoot pool. I'm going to exercise, do kung fu, do yoga. I'm going to do a whole bunch of things I'd never done before. I'll learn some foreign languages. I'll watch some great movies. I'll read some amazing books. I'll have great conversations and get a chance to meet people that I probably would never meet outside in the world because they're not in my circles, and get to learn about human nature. I will take this as a gift and make myself better when I come out. And it will be a blessing for when I come out. And I was walking down the compound one day, down the middle of the compound where all the buildings were. And the warden, who doesn't really walk around that often, on this particular day, he was walking through the compound. So I'm walking this way, and he's walking toward me. And as we get to each other, he stops me. He goes, Trudeau. He goes, you know, I've been in the Bureau of Prisons for 35 years. I've seen tens of thousands of inmates. And you're the only one who's actually happy to be here. And I smiled and I said, well, I'm here. I can't change that. I might as well be happy. I prefer being happy than miserable. And he goes, man, you got it going. And he smiled and walked away. And then he stopped, he turned around and goes, by the way, you're the only inmate I can honestly say should not be here. Now think about that. Here's a guy who looked at me and said, you shouldn't be here. He's been in 35 years, tens of thousands of inmates, and he said, you're the only one I can honestly say should not be here. And you're still happy. You're not bitter. You're not angry. You're not resentful. You're actually happy. I took it as a gift. This is how you have to live. This is mental toughness. This is how you deal with adversity. Adversity is going to come in your life, everybody. Challenges are going to come, but you're not the only person. Everyone's got problems. But don't tell me about your problems. Tell me about your dreams. Find the gold in the problem. And if you can't, then just say, I can't find the gold in this situation, but I know there is gold and it will present itself at the right time. There's an old saying, you're going through a tough time and you're really struggling and you're with some people and you're really upset and you're dealing with this problem. And then somebody will say something like, it's really hard. This is really painful. But, someday we'll look back at this and laugh. And everyone says, yeah, that's true. That is true. Well, if it is true, why wait? Laugh now. Think about that. Someday you'll look back at it and laugh. If it's true, and it is true, laugh now. Why be miserable? Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. The Buddha said that, and it's true. It's mental toughness that you have to deal with. But the challenge is when you deal with adversity, something in your memory bank or in your DNA gets keyed in or activated or triggered. A samskara or energetic imprint that makes you feel uncontrollably and irrationally bad. So I understand that people deal with things. This is why in life, if you want to succeed, you have to work on yourself. Always work on being a better you. And the system of helping clear out and transmute all of these energetic imprints, these samskaras or engrams that are in our field that get keyed in and activated and triggered, giving us uncontrollable and irrational emotions. The key to that is reading books every day a little bit, even if it's just a paragraph, a positive thinking book like The Magic of Thinking Big, The Magic of Believing, How to Win Friends and Influence People, See You at the Top. Books that are positive, motivated, inspired. Next, listening to audios. When you listen to positive, inspired, motivational material, it changes you. You have to feed your mind with positivity every day, because every day your mind is getting embedded and programmed with negativity. You are feeding your mind every day anyway, but junk food. You're feeding your mind negative. People talk to you, it's negative. You give your own self-talk. You talk to yourself, it's all negative. I'm so dumb. Why do things never work out for me? We're programming ourselves with negativity. Therefore, it's going to be more difficult to deal with adversity and challenges. And it's going to be harder to look at them as opportunities. The most successful people in the world have strong minds. They have mental toughness. And when faced with adversity, they get energized. Their energy isn't depleted. They don't sleep all day because they're depressed. When they're faced with adversity, they say, all right, it's time to roll up our sleeves. We got a big problem here, and we're going to overcome it. So we're going to be in the office tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We're going to start attacking this and handling this problem. I'm going to take care of it right now. That's what a winner does. The loser goes, oh, we got this problem. I don't know what to do. I'm so nervous. I don't know. And you get catatonic. You can't take action because the samskara is keyed in. And I understand that. This is why you got to feed your mind and do these things on a regular, consistent basis to start changing your mindset and become the mentally tough person that you can be. You have greatness within you. You have power within you. You have the ability to overcome obstacles, to overcome adversity, to find the seeds of greater benefit in adversity, to find the gold in adversity, and to use that adversity as stepping stones. Obstacles are simply stepping stones on the road to success. Obstacles, adversity, challenges, situations that come up that are negative, that you don't want to happen, things that slow you down, detours in your life, catastrophes, disasters. These are good. They're not bad. They're designed to activate your power, motivate and inspire you. The universe does not do things to you. It does things for you. Find the gold. Take action and attack. Overcome your adversity and never even call it adversity. Call it a gift. Call it an opportunity. Play the game. This way, you'll feel better, you'll succeed, and you'll win. And if you do these things, I know I will see you all at the top. Make sure you like the video, share it with everyone you can, subscribe to the channel, and leave comments in the chat. Leave comments. I read them all. I'm Kevin Trudeau. You are limitless, and this is The Kevin Trudeau Show. Much love. Bye-bye.